doubt you can hear me, but it's wild up here. Oh, Dartmoor at its bleakest. This isn't the Christmas camp that I wanted it to be. I went out on the 18th of December, but unfortunately I was walking along, foot went in a bog, I went over, twisted my knee, smacked my head on a rock, and yeah, bad omens. I wasn't feeling too good after that fall. No lasting damage, but at the time I decided to call it a day with that hike. So we're back out now. It is the 29th of December and the weather this week is just not great. Really not good at all. But today, well, this afternoon is kind of the better of the bad bunch of weather. It's really foggy, it's really windy, but it should be no rain between now and about 7 o'clock tonight. I'm at Row Tor Car Park and the goal is to walk up to High Wilhays and see what it's like up there. I'll catch you in a bit. Not sure how well the audio is going to come out here, but got off to a good start. Forgot my phone, so I've come back to pick that up. And the wind isn't too bad, but it's coming from the north, so once we get up Tor, it'll change. Bumped into a nice chap, walked along together for a mile or so. He's not stepping out tonight, just wanted to take some photos, so I left him at the base of Mill Tor, out of the wind at the moment, which is nice. It's pretty grim. Over there's I think that's a shooting range of some description over there, if I remember rightly. Decided to stick to the army track today because weather's a bit grim, visibility's crap, and this track will take me pretty much right up to Tor, so no chance of getting lost. I'm at the base, well not the base, but I'm sort of about to start heading up Tor now. Went past Mill Tor, but I couldn't see it because of the fog. See, this is what we're dealing with at the minute. It's very, very claggy. I'm just about to take on some extra water, so I've got plenty for hot drinks, etc. Say what you want about Dartmoor, it's got the best fog. People come from miles around to enjoy Dartmoor's fog. A couple of minutes rest, get some water, and then up on to Tor. Doubt you can hear me, but it's wild up here. Oh, Dartmoor at its bleakest. Oh my word, the wind is something. Over the kind of southerly side of the Tor because the wind is, it's harsh up there. I got the anemometer out. It's about 40 miles an hour kind of constant wind if you're up over the other side of the Tor. I mean, I want to camp up here tonight. The side that I'm on now, which is sheltered from the wind, I don't know how well you can see on the camera, but you know, it's sloping off that way, whereas the other side where all the wind is generally a lot flatter. I'm currently trying to decide whether to go for a flatter pitch, which is a lot more exposed, or slightly wonky pitch, which is a bit more sheltered, which is kind of making me think I shouldn't go and pitch the tent in the wind, you know, because I can, when I've got options which are a bit more sheltered. Part of me says, oh, that's just me being a wuss, but the other side of me says, well, that's just being a pragmatist. If I was stuck in the middle of nowhere and I had no shelter, then yeah, I'd put the tent up and just put my faith in the tent. Put it up directly in the wind, it's 40 to 50 mile an hour. In the shelter, it's still gonna be 20, 25, because it's rolling right over the top. I'm just gonna ponder this for 5 minutes and I'll probably catch you when I've got the tent up. There's not gonna be any fancy time lapses of the tent going up because there's no way I can get a tripod up in this weather. So I'm kind of set up now. Sleeping pad's up, pillow's blown up, sleeping bag is lofting away nicely, and I'm not in my sleeping bag yet. I've just kind of got it draped over me at the moment. Got my thermals on, feeling pretty warm. I've got a down jacket I can put on as well if needs be, but they don't give it freezing temperatures tonight, so I think I'm going to be fine on that front. Just had a cup of tea, which is nice, and I've not brought any red wine today, but I have brought some whiskey, and this is actually whiskey and ginger wine, which is a very, a favourite drink of mine. Whiskey Mac, absolutely love it. I like straight whiskey as well, but sometimes it's just, whiskey and ginger wine is very, very nice. If you haven't tried it, give it a go. I've started my New Year's resolutions early. One of them is to stop smoking. So I had my last cigarette on Christmas Day. I wouldn't, obviously I've not quit yet, I'm in the process of quitting, but currently we're on day 4 without a cigarette, and I've gone cold turkey as well. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Cravings yesterday were pretty gnarly, but today, so far, they seem okay, and obviously I'm right up on the top of Dartmoor now, and I can't just nip down the shop and buy a pack of cigarettes, so that's all good. My other resolution is to get into running. So I've started the Couch to 5k. I've done 2 sessions of that so far, and I've not decided if I like it or not yet. So the idea being with the Couch to 5k is, whilst I've been getting out and I've been doing a lot of hikes, I've been finding, the uphills really getting me, especially now that I've been heading out to, Renogs and places like that where they're a lot more mountainous, like Brecon Beacons, Snowdonia, etc. I've really found myself struggling with some of the uphills, and when I've finally got to the tops of these mountains, I've just been blown out of my backside, and it's not good. I don't like that, and a lot of that is down to my poor cardio health. So I'm hoping that by kicking the cigarettes out and doing some running, going to the gym, etc., hopefully that's gonna loosen things up, give me a bit more cardio endurance, and hopefully enable me to track a bit further and enjoy the hikes more, because I won't be suffering so much with my cardio. We've got the kitchen set up here. Nothing new to report here. Got my little table, BRS stove, fairly new Primus windshield, used that a couple of times now, and it's quite nice. See the water, but it's all mostly on the outside. For dinner tonight, we've got spaghetti carbonara, 1,000 calories. When I do get these, I tend to always get the 1,000 calorie version, but I'm starting to think it's a bit much. I might start doing the 800s. It's about 10 o'clock, and I just had a snooze, if I'm honest, but I think I'm going to be heading to bed properly in a minute. There's not much else to do, is there? Very long time in the tent, it gets a bit boring, but hey-oh, the days are going to start getting longer again, so hopefully can start getting back to longer time hiking and exploring, and less time sat in the tent. All in all though, it's been a nice little hike today. Not the longest, it was only about 5 kilometres or so, but given the fact that the weather was so bleak, I didn't want to go trudging around all day in it. But yeah, we're up at High Wilhays, highest point of the Moor, and it's technically a mountain by UK standards. If I recall correctly, anything over 600 metres in the UK is considered a mountain. So this is sort of technically a summit camp on Dartmoor. I think the only places on Dartmoor which qualify are High Wilhays and Tor. I don't think there's anywhere else which is over 600 metres. I've burnt through my water a lot faster than I thought I would. So I want to make sure that I've got enough in the morning to have a hot drink, and also just in case I wake up with a dry mouth throughout the night. As you can tell, the wind is still going. The forecast says it's not really going to drop off anytime soon. It can be quite calm for a minute or two, and then bang, get a really big gust of wind come through. But it's okay. it's all good. Anyways, I'm going to finish my drink and yeah, settle down for the night, and I'll catch up with you guys in the morning. Morning guys. I had a pretty good night. Warm, my word. I had all my merino thermals and everything on. I had to strip all those off. I was just getting so hot in the sleeping bag, which kind of makes sense. It's a -10 to -18 bag, and I think it was only about 7 degrees last night, so pretty warm. But now I've woken up, I've opened one of the doors up, and yeah, the temperature has certainly dropped now that there's a little bit of a breeze coming through. It got pretty horrific at one point last night. The tent's fine, tent stood up to it, no worries. Didn't have to repeg anything, everything I believe is where it was when I left it last night. My plan, I think, is pretty much just to chill out for a little while longer. I've got enough water left for one hot drink, so I'm going to get the kettle on, so to speak, and get a hot drink going and see what the deal is. Back at the car. It took me about an hour and 20 minutes to walk down. It was still grim, very foggy, windy and wet, but thankfully not cold. It's been a good camp, really windy, probably the windiest camp I've ever been on. Apologies for not doing too much filming, on the walk up and the walk down and around the tent, etc. It's just the weather was that crap. I just really didn't feel like it. Everything was getting soaking wet, and it just wasn't good weather for filming. Definitely a very exposed spot up there on the highest point of the moors, but it's been fun. I haven't been out for weeks, so I'm glad that I've finally managed to get out and have a camp. And as I've always said, get out in the bad weather and then you'll appreciate the good weather more. I'm going to leave it there, I think. I'm just going to get the heaters on in the car and get myself home. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.